Ulin is going to take everything you love. He's gonna smash the brains in of every member of your crew. And he's gonna leave you for last and make you watch as he slowly breaks every bone in your body. You hear me, Icarus Talon? You hear me?
Welcome back to the channel. I am Sacred and this is the Sacred Art of Gaming, where we enjoy talking about tabletop gaming with an emphasis on solo play. And today we gon' do some solo playing. I'm a little nervous. I've tried to do this video a few times and it hasn't quite hit with me. Hopefully this is the one. Now, some of the pain that I'm feeling is self-induced, for sure. For one, I really wanted to start with a naval encounter. That's number one. Number two, I'm recording it, so that obviously makes it a lot more difficult. If I was just playing just by myself, there'd be a lot less stress involved, less things to consider. I did make some slight changes to the world and my character based on some things that I thought would make sense and expanded upon some stuff in between those last videos that I created. I know on my character sheet, I think I only swapped wits and heart. We'll see if I regret that, I don't know. I really was tempted to switch edge and iron, but I was just really torn because iron is like a melee type stuff, and he's a melee character, but he's also like a very nimble character. So I'm just kind of like, what is more important for this character? There's not enough space for everything here. So I went with edge. I feel like that was more of a core part to the character. We'll see if I regret that. Also, notably, I believe this was recently called the Sargasso Sea, or would have been the Sargasso Sky in our case, because we're in the sky. And then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? In the sky, Scorched Rift I think actually makes sense. Scorched Rift sounded like too much in ocean type world, and it was because of the way the book is written. It talks so much about being in the ocean that I almost forgot that I was not in the ocean. I was in the sky. And then I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Scorched Rift, that makes sense. I did just start to do some basics for some other land masses around the one that we're at, which is Matunga, with some very basic places that are there. But that is it. The only one that's really fleshed out is the place that I assume we're going, which is Kiribos. We'll see. And if you are new, our character is Icarus Talon. Oh, I also changed his background vow. So the Empire, which is the Brass Farron sovereignty, they have a vulnerable treasure hoard. I felt like it was more on brand that was his background vow instead of what it was, which was to gain power within like a faction, being the pirate rebel faction, which is the was it Free Sky Syndicate. So our character, I didn't really put them in order, but I feel like at a minimum these kind of give you like a vibe of the character. He's graceful, desperate, he's an outcast, fugitive, indebted, deceitful. He's looking to gain power in the Free Sky Syndicate. He wants to follow the tenets of the Unbound Shadows faith. That is kind of like, I start to roll up some religions, really just the two that already exist. One through the Connection, which is like a necromancer, and my character. I have the shell of some other ones, but these are the only ones that kind of really have anything to them. He also has a tailcoat with gold trim and opulets. Probably should have looked up how to say that before I attempted it, but that seems right. Opulets. A grappling hook, a broken iron sword. Iron being, in this world, iron is not just iron. We're gonna use the term iron, and the only time it's going to matter which is the only time it'll be called out is when it's this special metal, which is almost like a star metal, some type of extra dimensional metal that these swords are made out of. His is broken. They don't generally break, so that's kind of crazy. And then, you know, who knows? Like, where did he get this from? All things that can be answered in play. And then he was marooned by former shipmates. It's not on here. It's somewhere else. But the ship that he has, known as the Imp, he actually won that ship in a battle from, captured in battle. It was awarded to him by the former captain. I don't know if those are options or if those are both, but we will discover that in play. Sails are embossed with, or emblazoned. Sails are emblazoned with a warrior figure insignia. It's carrying sailcloth, but also hidden cargo. Haven't really talked too much about the hidden cargo. All right. So, man, there's a couple things that I've already rolled up on. And I kind of wanted to set the scene here for this sighting phase. Make sure this is here and you can see it. So we went into this sighting phase, and this naval encounter situation is going to be broken down between sighting, approach, engagement, and boarding. And it wouldn't surprise me if this entire first episode is this. So in the sighting phase, what time of day is it? And then identify the sighting using the, I did do this. I think I did all of these oracles here, because I was hoping to just hit the ground running, and I just started to realize that I think I just have to struggle on camera. Well, let's set the scene as a whole. As a whole, there is a crazy storm. The most powerful storm that could possibly exist in this game is happening here. A part of me let me derail this into like, oh, maybe it's about the storm instead of the fight, and then I was like, no, let's go back to the fight. That was the intent. It's okay if I want to just do this as a jump into the action experiment situation. But the storm is still a presence, and because we're in the sky and because things are like kind of like crazy and magical, this is not going to be no normal storm. There's who knows. We'll see when the time comes. This storm may have even what I'm picturing is the storm has gone through this area. I'm actually like trailing behind it, but the storm is still looming generally in the area. So like if this is the map, we didn't really discuss like what area I'm coming from, but I'm gonna kind of assume probably here. Probably makes the most sense instead of coming through all here. So we're probably coming from this direction, and the storm is coming through here, and maybe it doesn't hit these guys as much. I kind of want it to be focused on Matanga. Maybe there should be more space, whatever. But yeah, it's gonna hit this place really hard, and then it's kind of still lingering over here, but has mostly passed through. So there's a lot of wreckage. There is a ship that we'll say like out here is wrecked. Now, these are floating islands, and there are also like little floating rocks out there too, almost like a little like asteroid belt, I guess, but in our hemisphere or in our on our planet. Is hemisphere the right word? I think it might be. So it is still, it's just floating rocks. So that shipwreck is actually on some combination of those floating rocks, presumably from the storm. There are also floating mariners in the area. We're going to assume they have some type of parachute type situation or on like some of these floating rocks, or else how would they be there? They would have just fallen. I would like to think in this world, because they're in the sky, there's probably a lot of like safety mechanisms for people and cargo to make them float for extended periods of time, so this way if something happens, it's just not gone forever. Because down below on the ground, they don't want to go there. I don't want to go there lore-wise right now. We want to discover it in play. So that is the situation. another thing that probably should be discussed, the bleak miss. That also is not great, so that makes it difficult to travel from place to place. There's a guild that specializes in this kind of thing, but yeah, it makes traveling and communication between islands and island areas dangerous. All of those things play into why this ship is crashed. Now, this ship specifically is actually a Empire or the Brassfarron Sovereignty type ship, because I really want to set the scene for the world and the conflict right out the gate. This ship is the crash ship is from that Empire, the Brassfarron Sovereignty. We gotta find a better way to say that. The Farrons, maybe. That's like what the pirate people would say. So the Farrons they sent one ship that has some type of artifact, because on this island, around this island, there's a great treasure in this area. And this ship was going there with this treasure, we'll say, that's gonna help them find it. We don't even know if this treasure is real. It's been a myth for a long time. And our character, Icarus Talon, who is very treasure motivated, somehow, some way, heard about this, but he didn't necessarily know the ship that had it. But what he did learn about is that the Empire has to send another ship to actually get this artifact from the ship that crashed, that was shipwrecked due to the storm. They don't want to lose the artifact, so that ship got sent immediately, and maybe some secrecy kind of went by the wayside because of how quickly they needed to get that ship out to get this very important artifact. Why they want this treasure, we don't know. We know why Icarus Talon wants it. And so he saw this as an opportunity to, yes, we need to immediately find a way to tail this Empire ship. We are getting into the area of where the shipwreck is, and Icarus Talon has two options here. He can try and wait and see if he can get it from them once they're on land. The Empire does have a presence on the island as well, or seize this opportunity between the storm kind of causing the island and the settlement having probably their own problems, maybe not focusing so much on what's going on offshore, to basically have either take it from the shipwreck or take it from this ship when they get it from the shipwreck. Either way, it's gonna be great. All right, I even did the paper clips all fancy like. All right, so we have our sighting phase. Now we're going to identify the sighting, which we kind of have already done. I don't want to necessarily bloat this with any more information than we already have. And then envision their reaction. Finally decide if and how when the encounter proceeds. Does the other ship or force move to engage? Do they flee? Do they sail blissfully onwards? Unaware, unconcerned. Ensure, ask the Oracle. All right, so ask the Oracle. Do I have something that has... I have my own dice for like yes/no questions, but I'm gonna try and use the ones that come with this game, because there are some benefits to it. Aha, here we go. Before we even ask this question, I know what the question is gonna be. Let's kind of establish the scene. This is something I need to get better at, which is why I think part of the reason why I suck at these type of PbtA games. But I would like to get better. I see some good potential with them for solo. So here we are. Icarus Talon, the captain of this ship, this sailing ship, and he looks back. He looks back at his elementalist that's kind of towards the back, and he's like, let's take a look at Elisa here for a second. So Elisa Tadana, she's intolerant and misled. She has an immaculate frilled shirt and a harpoon with victory marks on it. And she's, I mean, we're basically in like a normal style pirate ship with sails, very similar to like what the book has, maybe sails underneath too. And you know, something's got to help propel this situation. So she's in the back, and she's just kind of doing some air elemental avatar type stuff, and making sure that the ship is being propelled between her combination of magic and then also a combination of some Magitech style engineering on the ship, which there's an engineer for that. And he just looks back and he's like, Elisa, can we pick up the pace? And she just kind of looks down at him, just annoyed, because she's intolerant, right? And she just is looking back down at him. What do you think I am doing? And he's like, I understand. Just the artifact isn't going to find itself. That's all I'm saying. Could you possibly push the air harder into the sails? And she's like, yes, I'll get right on that. Meanwhile, the quartermaster, Cyrus Dawson, black-hearted, violent, a flamboyant feathered hat, and a pair of hooked swords, is kind of just going from crew member to crew member, who they are experienced mariners, mind you, but he's like, let's go up the sails, let's make sure this is over here. We don't want to leave this on the deck, what are you doing? He's just making sure everybody is doing what they should be doing, and Icarus he's very impressed with everything Cyrus is doing. And then Diego Tavita, he's interesting. I don't know if I should divulge this, but I probably just will. He is traitorous, undying, grim. He has a tricorn hat with bullet holes through it, and a musket with a bayonet. Our elementalist is also graceful, and our quartermaster is well armed, but I mean, it already kind of sounded like that. So the engineer comes up, and he addresses Icarus. Icarus looks a little concerned that the engineer is coming up to see him, and it's like, Diego, what is it? And Diego just lets him know that, you know, we're running, we're running on max juice. We don't really have a flux capacitor situation here that's fleshed out yet, but yeah, he's giving it all it's got, and especially with there's still high winds in the area. There's nothing more that we can do. We're capped out. And Icarus is like, okay, all right, well, let's not lose them. And he kind of has maybe some fancy version of a spyglass that maybe is a little more sky world looking. I can't think of a good example at the moment. Maybe he has like some kind of like steampunk looking binoculars even, where he puts them on his kind of, and he's looking at the ship, and he's looking, and he stops for a moment, and he sees the shipwreck. He gets a big grin on his face, and he says, okay, lads and ladies, strap up your boots. I think it's about time we meet our friends. And everyone's just kind of, and the elementalist is just in the back. Now, for the question that I wanted to ask. Do they see us? I'm gonna say 50-50. 59, very close. They do not see us. So, they are not reacting. So I think what we're going to do here, it makes sense that we can secure an advantage. How exciting! I get to roll my first thing in the game. I've never, well, I can't say never. I did try and fail with Ironsworn many moons ago. All right, secure an advantage. I feel like that would have been adventure. Aha! Yeah, there we go. All right, we are going to attempt to secure an advantage. That's what we wanted, right? Yeah. All right, so maybe we can try and like set things up and kind of get behind them, utilize some of these rocks and stuff for cover. And also like the wind as well, because the wind is obviously gonna be very powerful in this type of situation, so that we can close the distance as fast as possible. All right, so when you assess a situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage, envision your action and roll. Now, I think we're going to be in a heart situation, so that actually is good that we did bump that up there, because we're doing this through command. Yeah, I'm gonna say command. I could see an argument for shadow as well, but nah, I think this is more command. It just makes me think that maybe almost everything is going to be command while I'm on the ship, which should be a lot of the game. Let's see. Oh, not a good sign. If I recall, my dice actually have to be higher. That is not good. On a miss, you fail, or your assumptions betray you. Pay the price. So much for securing an advantage. Aha, pay the price. We're gonna need this out quite a bit, I think. All right, so when you suffer the outcome of an action, so we can do the most obvious, or ask the oracle, or roll on the table below. All right, so yeah, I think creating an opportunity for the enemy is going to be the obvious thing here. So as we try and hedge our bets here and sneak up on them, it actually backfires, and they do see us. Now I'm curious, do they attack? Do they take this advantage to attack us, or do they take this to kind of run? And I probably should have said attack us? I feel like they're the Empire, so I'm gonna say likely. I haven't actually looked at this yet. So they do not. They do not attack us. That is crappy. But damn, nothing would have allowed for that, even almost certain. So they're actually going to take this to try and hurry up, get what they need, and then run. Probably run to the island? I would think they'd probably run to the island. We'll see. So that did not work. Let's go back to our book here in our approach phase. Huh. So they're trying to run. So my intent was to do this in a single move, but the single move doesn't really... This is where I struggle a little bit, because now the way I'm envisioning all of this doesn't really fit with the rules that I'm seeing. So I've resolved it as a single move. I tried to secure an advantage. I did not. I paid the price, which means they've seen me and they have an advantage to leave. So now I am not in control. I'm not in control. Maybe I need to stop looking for moves. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I need to stop looking at this. So we see that they are heading inland. So we're going to continue, we'll say they were already checking the ship. They're starting to move. We are now going as fast as we possibly can to catch up to them. What determines if I catch them or not, though? That's what is driving me nuts. So here is what I'm going to do, because I want the naval encounter to happen in some capacity. More than just, oh, I see them and they fly away. So that first roll just really threw things way off. So, man, is there... So there's adventure, which I feel like is what it would be under. Quest, connection, exploration. None of that helps me. Suffer and combat. Gain ground, but I'm not in control. Okay. I'm gonna try and do the thing. I'm gonna try and take control of the narrative, which this might be a little metagamey because I really want this specific thing to happen. I won't normally do this, but to start, I really wanted to start in the middle of things, despite us being God knows how far into this video, and it hasn't happened yet, and I am sorry. All right, so this is what, I love this. This is great. So, gain ground, react under fire, because I'm technically in a bad spot now. What I am going to say is that they're not going to run. They are going to turn to face us, and they are going to, it looks like react under fire is really the only thing. Clash to exchange fire from a neutral or disadvantaged position. Clash to exchange fire. Okay, so yeah, we'll say we're coming up on them, and then all of a sudden they actually like turn the ship unexpectedly. So it looks like they were fleeing, and then all of a sudden they are not. They pull like a Tokyo drift situation in the sky, and we are not necessarily prepared for that as we are trying to pursue this the ship. And Icarus is just kind of like, everyone, brace yourselves! We are going to react under fire. Oh man, that took a lot out of me. React under fire, here we go. Because we're in a bad spot. We're trying to avoid danger. Or overcome an obstacle. Now, something that I don't want to forget here is that I think we do want to set a tension clock. We have to set a tension clock, and we also have to set a challenge rank situation here too. I already pulled one of these out, but whatever. Got so excited to roll dice. Oh, you know what? I don't think I need this. I have this. So here's our tension clock. Here's our combat challenge. We're going to say that this is dangerous. They sent whoever was available. I want to say those are 2 ticks. And our objective is to obtain artifact. That is our objective. All right. So, yeah, I think it's time to roll. So, in pursuit, fleeing, dodging, getting back in a position, or taking cover, we're rolling with edge. Remaining stalwart against fear or temptation, blocking or diverting with force, moving into hiding or creating a distraction, or changing the plan, finding a way out. So I guess it would be edge. I don't know if... Yeah, I think it would be edge. I'm an idiot, by the way. I made a mistake. I did not add... Ah, man. Growing pains with this game. This is where the digital side of things helps. Because I won't make dumb mistakes when I am this overwhelmed. I'm just curious, I was trying to secure an advantage. I actually got a weak hit. Choose one, take 2 momentum or add +2 on your next move, not a progress move. All right, I think this is actually gonna kind of work. It's okay, we'll make this work. I think I'm actually gonna take the +1 on this next move, this progress move. Either way, I still would have lost control of the situation. I don't think it would have been, yeah, definitely would have been a strong hit. All right, so now that that has happened, more or less the same, no big deal. So we gotta remember that we have a +1 in addition to our edge. So that should be a +4, I believe. Yeah, so that's actually looking pretty good to us reacting under fire here. This is a 6, I believe. It is. All right, cool. All right, so that's actually really good. That's a strong hit with us reacting under fire. You succeed and are in control. Take 1 momentum. Momentum goes up. So how I envision this, how do I actually get, so if this doesn't give me, gonna be a lot of waffling in this video, and I'm sorry. So, yep, challenge rank, blah, blah, blah. Determines the amount of ticks added or box fills you mark progress during the fight. Yep, okay. So, let's look at a different one. If I were in control, for example, if I were hitting gain ground, would that say something about, oh yeah, it does say mark progress. Okay, cool. All right. So what happens between the wind, so they turn and they very quickly just unload, just crazy cannon fire, and everyone's like, take cover! Icarus looks up to Elisa and he's like, Elisa, stop! And she's kind of tries to halt the air for a second so he can kind of drop. So he drops down and avoids quite a bit of the cannon fire, and he's gonna come back up, and it's not gonna be, you know, directly down like a fighter jet or anything like that, or else everybody would fall out. So he kind of dips down, and as he's turning the wheel here, he's then gonna kind of come back up and turn on his side, and then he is going to expose his cannons. And yeah, I think we want to, we're gonna ready cannons. Ready cannons, hold for maximum effect. Yeah, so we wanna really blast them. And what's kind of cool here is we are somewhat below them, which makes things interesting with us being in the sky. And you know, he's making sure that the quartermaster, Cyrus, I believe, yes, Cyrus is getting everything loaded up as quickly as possible. Fire! And this is gain ground, which is here. Let me know in the comments down below, am I too move focused? And that's part of my problem. I kind of suspect it might be. Just wanting to roll the dice. So we're in control, fight to reinforce your position or move toward an objective. Yes, this is what we're trying to do. So in pursuit, fleeing, or maneuver, wow, edge actually might be more helpful than I thought. I thought edge was actually just going to help me as a person. My body, not my ship. But it kind of feels like edge is referring to my ship more than I would have expected. Gaining leverage, hiding, coordinating, or planning. Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like the maneuvering. All right, so that is a weak hit. Weak On a hit, so 2 with the strong hit. On a weak hit, we choose 1. We are gonna mark progress, baby. Woo, we're doing the thing. And this is dangerous, so I believe that gives us 2 of these guys. I don't know if I did the right amount of ticks, but yes, dangerous is 2. All right, cool. That's awesome. We're making progress, woo! All right, so we fire off the cannons and actually, no, we don't fire off the cannons because there's a separate thing for that. We had prepared the cannons, and yeah, everything's loaded up, and he's just kind of like, Icarus is like, we can't hold it much longer. Diego, or no, Cyrus, are we good? And he's like, yeah. And so fire. Fire all the cannons! So now this is going to be strike. Yeah, firing the cannons is strike to fire from a position of advantage. So let's see, strike is here. When you are in combat and assault a foe at close quarters, roll iron. When you attack at a distance, roll edge. Wow, I may have made a very good decision on accident. We are attacking at a distance. Edge. Wow, I'm glad I didn't change that. I almost did. All right. So that looks like another weak hit. Yep, 7. All right, cool. I mean, I'll take it. Weak hit, I feel like, is where you're supposed to be in this game. So, moves the story forward, but it moves the story forward and you also get progress. So on a weak hit, mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. You're in a bad spot. All right, guys, now I'm starting to have fun. Now, it's getting exciting. Sorry it took so long. So 2 ticks because we're doing danger. 2 ticks being like, where was it? Progress will be 2 ticks. So because it says mark progress twice, I'm gonna do 4 ticks, which we've made a lot of progress, but because of this crazy move that we just did, and then he's kind of yelling at the elementalist in the back and also the engineer to, they need to speed up because now they're actually around a lot of these like rocks and stuff that are floating in part of the shipwreck that's dangling in the area as they're kind of flying around down below, trying to get more level with them again to avoid a lot of this debris. So they're trying to head back up, which is kind of putting them in a bad spot, no pun intended. So yeah, so now we need to, we're in a bad spot. There's reacting under fire, or yeah, it's all reacting under fire. So if clash to exchange fire from a neutral or disadvantaged position, clash to exchange fire with enemy sharpshooters or under enemy cannon fire. Clash to ram in a desperate situation. That's kind of cool. Are we? I don't think we're that. I don't think we're that desperate. As cool as that sounds. I think we're gonna clash to exchange fire from a neutral or disadvantaged position. So Icarus, he's, and maybe I'm doing things wrong in terms of looking at this and then figuring out what is happening, but once I figure out the triggers and get more used to them, that'll hopefully help. So he's trying to get back up, but as we're getting back up, they are ready, and it's just the cannon fire is coming through, and that is making things difficult for us to load up our cannons and fire back again. Let's do a clash. When you are in a bad spot and fight back against a foe at close quarters, roll iron. When you exchange fire distance, roll edge. Edge, baby, let's go. Oh no. Oh no. I should probably be looking at these. When you, okay, yep, that does not help me. When you move with outrageous style, do not roll a 1 on your action die. You may reroll that die. Swashbuckler. I feel like the intent of this is when I'm on foot, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Either way, this is not good. I did also intend to do the tension clock. I kind of forget how the tension clock works. It might be activating now. We'll see. On a miss, your foe dominates this exchange. You stay in a bad spot and must pay the price. I should keep that pay the price one out. Okay. When you suffer the outcome of an action. So let's see if the obvious is something that we need first. So here's where my mind immediately went. So we do have those floating mariners, which presumably are from the Empire. So what I think is, in our attempt to kind of avoid as much cannon fire as possible, and then we still were kind of getting blasted here, and then we're trying to move out of harm's way even more once we're starting to see the damage take place. I'm surprised there's no... So I know I have this for my type of ship that I have. I don't know, I haven't seen anything yet for like damage on my ship yet. But we shall see. I may have to retroactively do some stuff if I miss something. But yeah, what ends up happening is some of these mariners, they're actually getting caught in our sails and on our ship. And some of them may be unconscious or killed, but some of them may actually be alive. So I think we should ask the Oracle, are any of these alive? And I'm going to say likely. 87. What the What is... Are these loaded? I kind of want to roll... Hold on. Let me roll again. 52. Just some... We got to get out these high rolls here. That's another one. Okay, sorry. Weird dice craziness. So... Yeah, there are, none of them are alive, but it's still complicating things because people are running back and forth, and now there are dead bodies like tied up in the sails, tied up in like the ropes and stuff, and on the deck that they're now tripping on. So mind you, they're not all necessarily dead, but they are at least, none of them are actively alive. So some of them could be unconscious. So that, we gotta remember that for later, because that could be interesting. Okay, so Icarus Talon, you dog you. We are in a bad spot, and I like this chart here. This kind of breaks things down for me pretty good. And I think at this point, nothing is telling me... I feel like for the tension clock, there's two ways we can look at this tension clock here. There's the storm, and then there's also them escaping. I don't think we need two tension clocks though. And they're fighting me, so I don't think them escaping is really a thing. Maybe what we need to be more concerned about is the storm coming back. We have had at least one miss. I don't know right now if that is when I'm supposed to do that. I think I actually have that marked in here. As you pay the price or encounter a complication where a tension clock is active, you can resolve the cost or concession by filling a segment on the clock. Okay. I don't know that I was supposed to do both, but I think that's fair, just so we at least know that it's like a thing that we need to worry about right now before I forget in this chaos. All right, so we probably need to deal, we're in a bad spot, and I think what we need to do here is we need to clean up this situation with the people that are on the ship now. So I like this motivate or command. I think that is probably what we need. I think that's, yeah, the closest to what I'm thinking here. I need to do better about like saying the things out loud before I react on them here, but just know it was in my head. So we need to react under fire. I'm starting to see that there is a pattern now that, I mean, I think dealing with this makes things a little easier. We are reacting under fire. When you are in a bad spot, and take action in a fight to avoid danger, overcome an obstacle. So what we are doing is I think, even though it doesn't say it here, I think this is heart, because this is like a command type thing where he just wants everyone to kind of focus on getting our stuff back in order, or else we're never going to survive this, because things are not reacting the way they should, because people, literal people, are all over them. So let's react under fire. Okay. Oh, it has to be over, I'm pretty sure. My heart is a 2, so beats 1 does not beat both. It equals the second one. So that's a weak hit, but I'll take it. On a weak hit, you avoid the worst of the danger or overcome the obstacle, but not without a cost. Make a suffer move, -1. You stay in a bad spot. How dare you? Suffer move. I have not seen that one yet. I assume it's probably with, you fool. Okay, so suffer move is a group of moves. So this says, make a suffer move -1, you stay in a bad spot. So we have lose momentum, endure harm, endure stress. So the mental strain or the physical strain, environment, suffer 1 and oh, so here's where the integrity stuff kind of comes in. So so we can mess with my momentum. We can mess with physically me, I think I'm okay. The stress of my crew, or this is the stress of me. This is the stress of me. I think withstand damage is what is going to happen here when your vehicle faces a damaging situation or environment. So I think between the cannon fire as well as the people that are all jammed up all over my ship and us trying to get them down and get them out of places that they should not be, I think that's causing a lot of problems. And I think there's a potential for us to have some damage, maybe even with like the Magitech mechanical bits. That could be a big part of it too. Let's see how we do. I don't know what I'm rolling. If your integrity is 0 or you choose to resist the damage. Oh, this is if I'm trying to resist it. Yeah, I mean, okay, hold on. Suffer minus integrity for minor damage, -2 for serious damage, -3 for 3. Okay, if your integrity is 0, lose momentum equal to your remaining damage. So then that brings us here. Assign a max integrity. If this is your primary ship, it has up to 5 hold. You and your allies use your hold value as supply when taking action or suffering a cost related to shipwide gear and provisions. So this is a light ship as much as it's a small ship, so that leads me to believe that it's light. So I think what we're doing here is we're rolling integrity after we have just taken -1 integrity. So that would be 2. So mine is a 4, so that is a weak hit. On a weak hit, if your vehicle is not battered, you may lose momentum in exchange for +1 integrity, otherwise carry on. Do I want to do that? It's a pretty light ship. I think I will. I think I will do that. So we'll say the integrity stays the same. And we are still not in a good spot. We are not in a good spot still. So now that all of that has happened, we'll assume that we somewhat have control over the bodies on the ship. Our ship is kind of is level set, trying to work its way around. We need to find another way to get an advantage over this ship. So, yeah, we'll say we want to maneuver the ship again, so I guess that'll give us react under fire. To get out of line of fire, sustain attack, regain control in rough seas, or avoid a collision. Yes, that is what we will do. We will do that thing. React under fire. So this looks like this is going to be edge once again. Blocking or diverting with force, moving into hiding, creating a distraction, changing the plan, finding a way out. Yeah, I am trying to get into a better position. A part of me wants to just do something else to mix this up because I've used this before using edge, but I need to just stick to the fiction. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to maneuver back into a position. It is with edge. Oh, and edge might give us the edge because we have a strong hit here. You succeed and are in control. Take 1 momentum. We're in control, baby. All right, cool. So, Icarus now, he's able to move the ship, and even though he's having some mechanical issues in the back, I think Diego has it under control, our engineer, and that's kind of where that integrity shift is coming into play. We are now moving kind of like towards the front of the ship, maybe on a little bit of an angle, and we are ready to cannon fire once again. So do we want to, I think we're just gonna fire the cannons. Strike to fire from a position of advantage. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So yeah, Icarus is like, ready for one more volley! Get ready to fire! And Cyrus gets them ready. And here we go! I should probably look and see what I'm... So it's strike. Strike to fire those cannons, and yeah, it is edge. It's edge because it's range. Oh, man, I mean, could be better, could be worse. 8. I saw the 0 on a purple die, and I was like, wait, is that the curse die? We're not doing curse die right now. But those are for tables. All right, cool. So weak hit, could be better, could be worse. We're still gonna mark progress twice, but we expose ourselves to danger. We're in a bad spot. Okay, marking progress twice. That actually is gonna fill this guy up. Now, I am curious, so when it comes to resolving the engagement, this phase ends when all engagement objectives are resolved as you, wait. We want a board. So this is, yeah, I guess the, yeah, I suppose, I probably look like a madman the way I'm playing this right now. I guess we're not obtaining the artifact yet. We are basically just trying to beat them into submission so they can't outrun us, so we can board. Face defeat or take decisive action. If the battle is done, decide your next steps. Either side sought to board. Fight continues on the next stage. Now, can I take decisive action if I am not in control? And then where do I find take decisive action? Oh, with combat, derp. Okay, and it's a progress move. For the sake of time, I think I am just going to roll, even if this is incorrect. So progress move, I believe we roll with this in mind. So envision how you take decisive action, then roll the challenge dice and compare to your progress. If you are in control, check the result as normal. If you are in a bad spot, count a strong hit without a match as a weak hit. I haven't been accounting for the matches, but I don't think we've had any yet. So we're just going to roll our challenge dice, if I'm reading this correctly. Envision how you take decisive action, then take the challenge dice and compare to your progress. Okay, so we have 10. And so what we're gonna do now that we've kind of come up on them from an angle, he's gonna say like, Diego, get the stabilizers ready! And because we're in the sky, so this is kind of problematic, right? So what he's gonna do, he's gonna go across the front of the ship here, and he's kind of on an angle, and he's gonna come across the side, and they're gonna start throwing lines and harpoons and stuff to maybe that air elementalist, she's the first one to throw her harpoon, but using air to kind of like help pull them in, because you know it's gonna be a decent amount of range initially, and then the rest of them are gonna start throwing their grappling hooks and stuff, and they are getting ready to board. They actually have the ship hooked in. Let's roll. Oh man, what are the chances? This is okay. Let's see what happens. before I get all riled up for no reason. Envision how you take decisive action, then roll the challenge dice compared to your progress. So this is a weak hit. On a weak hit, you achieve your objective, but not without costs. Roll on the table below or choose one. If the fight continues, you are in a bad spot. Damn it. It's worse than you thought. Victory is short-lived, a new peril. You face collateral damage, something is lost, damaged, or broken. Others pay the price, someone else suffers the cost. Others won't forget, you are marked for vengeance. It gets complicated. The true nature of a foe or objective is revealed. Oh, I kind of like this last one. The nature of a foe or objective is revealed. So where that takes my mind, I'm gonna try not to overthink it too much. Where that takes me is that this ship, although sent to get this artifact, it was also kind of a trap to pull in pirates. All right, I would like to apologize for any changes around me because I was not able to do this video all in one sitting due to a full memory card. I thought it was the power, it was not, it was the memory card. But I feel like it's silly to like stop right before the boarding phase. We're gonna do the boarding phase. He yells, our main character, he yells to Elisa, the elementalist that's in the back, and he's like, Elisa, give me a boost, as they're not quite in range to like go over through normal means. He's got his trademark tool, his grappling hook, and he's got that thing ready. And she gives him a deep sigh, and then he goes 3, 2, 1, and he jumps off the side of the ship, and she pushes him as a gust of air pushes him to the other side. He gets the grappling hook ready and flings it onto some of the various pieces of the other ship, ropes and masts and all this stuff, and uses that to swing over. She obviously doesn't want to leave her captain behind, so a few other members of the crew, because these are veterans, they are also going to start getting pushed by Elisa as well. So we are entering the fray. Not only are we entering the fray, but we are also we're making a move with outrageous style, in my humble opinion. He's actually going across. He is swinging with the grappling hook, and he pulls out his good sword. He has like a normal sword, normal pirate, like we'll say like a cutlass type sword, but he also has his broken iron sword. Iron swords being kind of special here, but it's broken. They don't typically break. His is. Getting Pirates of Dark Water vibes. But anyways, he's got the cutlass and he's ready to come down on somebody if that is what is going to take place, much like this picture right here. So entering the fray. Let's take a look at entering the fray. When you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, envision your objective and give it a rank. So I think what we're gonna do, what did I do with that paper? I think this is gonna be formidable. Keep in mind these are pirate hunters, so this is kind of a trap that would probably be extreme, but because we have the upper hand, we did more damage than they did to us. We kind of have them in a good spot, so that's gonna make this formidable, which means it's gonna be one square per success, or however you want to say it, whatever their verbiage is. So the combat includes discrete challenges or phases. Set an objective with a rank of each. Then roll to see if you are in control. Roll to see if I am in control. On the move or maneuvering, roll edge. In command or facing against your foe. Keep in mind, we're still trying to obtain the artifact, even though I did it for this portion. We are trying to obtain the artifact, so we're not necessarily trying to like kill everybody here. Our first order of business is to get this artifact. So, command, close quarters, an unaware foe, or caught in a trap, or sizing up the situation. On the move or maneuvering. I think we're actually gonna start by, I think we're gonna roll wits. Because I think as he's swinging across, he's actually gonna grab onto some of these, like the ropes, the masts, all this stuff, And he's gonna get a look from up above before he actually jumps down, because again, his objective is to get this artifact. That's gonna give time for his other crew members to get over. And then when they start the fight, he can also kind of jump down now that he's had a moment to take a look at what's going on and get an idea as to where this artifact could possibly be hidden. So I do think that Swashbuckler does still, would it apply? It's not combat. Yeah, it was still outrageous. So we'll apply this, and let's get ideas to, like, we're getting the lay of the land, or in this case, an airship. Let's roll. I can't even see from over here. Let's move this in a little bit. So 2, 6, and a 1. There is no way for me to get a strong hit. So Swashbuckler is not really gonna help me here. If you burn, yeah, no. Nope. Well, it was worth a try. So we do get a weak hit on our Enter the Fray. On a strong hit, take both. On a weak hit, choose one. So do we want to maintain control, or do we want to take 2 momentum? I think I'm going to maintain control. And the unfortunate thing, I say unfortunate, it's really not that big of a deal, but can I still, no. I do like that chart. I like leaning on that chart for learning, but we don't have that here. We're just gonna have to read. All right, so Icarus, he's up top. His other crew members are now down. They're also fighting, and he's looking, and we didn't mark any progress, so that kind of sucks. So he's looking around, and he tries to find, like, the most like the captain's quarters, basically. And he's looking. He does see that, you know, like most ships, which is not here, but a lot of times there's, like, this raises up over here, and then there's a door, and that's more than likely where the captain's quarters are. And then I feel like a lot of times there's, like, little, like, trap doors where they go down underneath. Captain's quarters probably going to be up top. So he does see that, and he wants to beeline it towards that. Wants to get in and get out as fast as possible, because these are pirate hunters. So this is not necessarily going to be a walk in the park. So this actually might be exactly what we want. Gain ground. No. Take it. No, that's a progress move. So the only other thing I see here is strike. It actually wasn't too bad to jump through. I think gain ground is what we want here. And so what he's gonna do, he's gonna again use the grappling hook, swing across, and that portion that we mentioned that's a little higher, he's actually gonna try and swing over there, so this way he's less likely to get stopped by anyone else in the area, and then he's gonna hop down and try and get into the captain's quarters. So yeah, let's see. Fleeing, or this is definitely an edge for sure. Charging boldly into action. No. Well, is it? I feel like this is probably a maneuvering thing, because he's not necessarily trying to get into action. Hiding, misdirecting, or coordinating a plan, studying a situation. Oh, I'm an idiot, by the way. I don't know why I always forget to use. I guess it is possible. It is possible that I could have gotten a strong hit. I probably won't, but let's just see. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have. I still would have been okay though, because of the +1. So yeah, we're gonna do edge. So this looks pretty good. Let's gain ground, baby. Oh wow. Wow, and we have matches. Matches does something. What does it do? What does a match do? And we have a strong hit on this match. Can I find this quickly? Let's see. Rolling matches. Thanks. Rolling. When you make an action roll, check the value. If they are the same, you've rolled a match. So on a strong hit, the match should represent a twist in the narrative, something interesting, or a new opportunity. Ooh, so this is like a yes and kind of situation. Very interesting. We roll a 7, we crushed that. And then let's see, we get on a strong hit, we get to choose 2. So we're definitely going to mark progress. Add +1 on your next move, not a progress move. I think we do want to take the +1. So we're going to mark progress, which is not on here. Progress is here. Finally making some progress. Hold on a second. Sean would be so upset. So, all right. That's great. That's great. All right, so yeah, he swings down and he's actually, nobody has really noticed him. He's able to get over to the captain's quarters here, opens the door, no lock, and then there's also an opportunity, something good happens here. So there's definitely something good in the captain's quarters that helps him in some way. Let's say that there's some treasure, some type of treasure, something. There's something that is just laid out. What would that thing be? Would it be in our oracles here? Maybe. Treasure repository, treasure value. I kind of want it to be like an item. So precious items or tokens. A token is an item of personal significance such as a momentum, heirloom, or individual treasure used as table when prompted by another table or add detail to a character. It may have intrinsic value. So a precious item or a token. Roll or select a number of items on this table as set by the treasure's value, page 113. Well, let's see, shall we? So I guess we'll roll on all of these tables to get an idea. I don't know if that's necessary, but we're just starting, so we'll see. It's either going to be small. Oh, yeah, I guess it could be vast, huh? Yeah, I guess we'll just roll. See. 66. Medium. All right, now we'll roll here. 73. Roll the action die and reveal that many precious items. Page 115. 6. Oh, man. Oh, 6 precious items. Yeah, I would say that is worthy of what just took place. How embarrassing. 92, a token, okay. 49, lustrous pearls. Fine wine. Another token. Masterwork weapons, hell yeah. Really hope that's not shaking my camera. Sacred relics! That makes me think I may have found it now. We may have already found it, but like there's like no chance we're gonna make that progress roll, but it might be something that we should do. When you seize an objective in a fight, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we roll plus that, so we get the +1. Yeah, it kind of makes sense if I'm sticking with the narrative. Let's see. But first, let's do our tokens. Oh, we have a curse token. 25. Dark cloak that transforms the look of the wearer. Just put the number there for now. And then 52. Music box. Okay. That was wonderful. That was great. All right, did we do everything that we were supposed to do? with our gain ground. Yes, we did. We do get we get a +1, but not on progress moves, of course. You wouldn't be able to use momentum on that anyways. So yeah, I mean, we'll do it. We'll do it. I just don't feel good about it. All right. So let's take decisive action. Did we get the sacred relic that we were looking for? +1 to this. Wow. Excellent roll. Wow, we actually got a weak hit. Wow, we did it. On a weak hit, you achieve your objective, but not without cost. Roll on the table below or choose one. If the fight continues, you are in a bad spot. So it's worse than you thought. Make a suffer move. Victory is short-lived. A new peril or foe appears. You face collateral damage. Something's lost to him. Okay. Others pay the price. Others won't forget. You are marked for vengeance. It gets complicated. The true nature of a foe or objective is revealed. Okay. I kind of like you are marked for vengeance. I don't know why, but I couldn't help but think about these like pirate hunters. The captain of this ship is a psychopath, is like a big brute. And this big brute has like a chain with a cannonball on the end of it. And he swings it around like a madman. So I think what happens here, let me know in the comments down below. I feel like how I'm supposed to be playing is I make stuff up in the fiction and then I roll on a move when it's triggered, and I think I'm kind of doing the opposite. I think I'm looking for a move and then doing the fiction around it. Hopefully that gets easier once I have more to go off of and I'm not like feeling tied to the mechanics. We did set ourselves up with something a little bit more intense. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, advice, stuff like that. But this is really cool. I never would have made a progress move with just one. So yeah, this pirate captain happens to kick in the door. Kicks in the door because I think he knows that he saw me. He saw me actually go in there as the fight and stuff was taking place. And he actually has one of my crew members, has him like by the throat. Has a crew member in a throat, or by the throat with one hand, and he has this cannonball and a chain on the other. He's like, "You filthy pirate! We were ready for you. We were absolutely ready, and this is where things end." And he just snaps the neck of the crew member that he had in his hand. No one with a name necessarily. He had a red shirt, and he throws him down. But he was an experienced mariner, so he knew how to hold his own, and he just kind of throws him down like when a big dog has a toy that they just dog handle. He dog handled this crew member, just throws him down like he's nothing. And you can see he's wrapping his wrist with that chain because we are in the crew or the captain's quarters. As Icarus, he's trying to take everything that he can, some of these masterwork weapons. He has the sacred relic already. It was not locked up because they were that confident. And they also found it somewhat recently. This music box, the fine wine, the lustrous pearls. The fine wine might be one of the harder ones for him to take. And Icarus, he's struggling to put some of this stuff down. He's really trying to make sure he takes everything that he has, or that he just found. And the pirate captain, or the pirate hunter captain, he's readying this attack. And luckily, Icarus, being the graceful character that he is, somewhat of a solid sword fighter, with his swashbuckler ways and him being so nimble and stuff. I feel like this is done, so I don't think I need to like make any rolls. I'm just gonna narrate it. He's swinging the cannonball around and just smashing up the captain's quarters, and during all this, Icarus is kind of saying silly, almost like Spider-Man type things. This is like a Spider-Man and Rhino situation. Oh, too slow? Oh, come on, you can do better than that, mate. And he's sliding in between his legs and dipping and diving and taking some action rolls around this cannonball on the chain there. And Icarus he's smart. He's trying to bait him into as much of the captain's quarters as possible, so this way there's plenty of space for him to get around him. He sees his opening, and that's whenever the pirate hunter starts swinging it wildly, and pieces of the captain's quarters are just being ripped apart. He slides and runs out, and he's like, "Okay, everyone, we got what we came for, let's go!" And he starts to hand off some of the stuff that he just found to any of his crew members that are not actively engaged in a fight. And he just jumps over to the other side and swings with the grappling hook back over to his ship. I'm trying to think of, like, is there something else that he should do as he leaves? Maybe he takes one of those bottles of wine. Maybe there's a little bit of fire that breaks out on the ship that some of the crew members on that ship, they're already trying to deal with, and he throws one of those bottles of wine, and it just kind of makes it a lot harder for them to deal with it, so this way it gives them a little bit more time to get the hell out of there, essentially. And as they're swinging across, Icarus looks back and gives him a sly salute over to him, and I want to know this pirate hunter captain's name. Do we need a first look? We don't. Do we? Sure. 54. It's gonna give me something stupid. Watch. Oh, he's a mysterious brute. Okay. I just want his name, because I am putting this on to the end of another video, technically. All right, so character name. Let's see. Oh, there is curse. Curse is an option, I think. Oh my god. Oh my god. We'll say none of that counted. 19. Aubrey Blackwood Marama. Marama. I don't like any of these. I'm gonna re-roll. 86. Jihan Shin Ulan Vayan Swab. Is it Yulin or Ulan? I like Jihan and Ulan. Yulin sounds Ulin or Yulin. I kind of like Ulin. Ulin kind of sounds like an orc. Yeah, Ulin sounds orc-like, which is what we want, something brutish. Yulin sounds almost elven, and that sounds more elegant, and that's kind of the opposite of what I want here. So yeah, as Ulin is staying on his ship, he's yelling over to Icarus, and he yells, somehow he knows, because he's now a vengeful, he's marked for vengeance.
You mark my words, Icarus Talon! Olin will be the end of you! Olin is going to take everything you love. He's gonna smash the brains in of every member of your crew. And he's gonna leave you for last and make you watch as he slowly breaks every bone in your body. You hear me, Icarus Talon? You hear me?
Oh, God. All right. So those are the things that happen. And Icarus is just kind of like, whatever, dude. I'm out of here. They disengage, and they very quickly dip down under the cloud cover as they're dealing with their situation, with the fire on the ship that they're putting out, but it's taken some time. And they make way. They make way towards the place where the treasure likely is. They make way towards Kirbos. And they have to meet with their contact, a necromancer. So, that is where we will end it. This may be 2 videos, this may be 1. If it's 2, I'm sorry for chopping up one big scene into 2. If it's 1 video, I'm sorry for how long this was. But I appreciate you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on our first episode here of Sundered Isles. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you like this video, don't forget to slap a like on it. I will see you in the next one as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming together.